Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio. And now, here's our host, Dr. Vanessa Anceloni.
Welcome, dear listener, to Kardec Radio. We are here live from the Chantilly Studios in Virginia at Kardec Radio. And we are delighted because we are going to talk about outreach efforts. In Spiritism, we learn every time we read a book. We have meetings that without charity, there's no salvation. What does that mean? What does that mean? The need to reach out to others who are in need or who are suffering. These and many other questions will be answered here, and hopefully we're going to be talking with Antonio Leal, who is in United Kingdom, and he's going to be talking about this and other things, and especially about Operation Christmas Child, the Shoebox Challenge, something that is quite interesting and can help us anywhere we are in this world. Right now, I'm going to stream to you a beautiful message because we are around the corner from the holiday, especially Christmas. And to prepare for reaching out to others, here is a message by the Spirit May through Chico Xavier, which you can find in the book and CD, Enlightening Messages, at the bookstore of the Spiritist Society of Baltimore, www.ssbaltimore.org. After this beautiful message and the break, we're going to be here talking to you about Operation Christmas Child.
Christmas Card. At the dawn of Christmas, which awakens in you the music of hope, listen to the voice of someone who searches for the nest of your soul, someone who lights up the star of generosity in your eyes and sweetens your feelings as though he had a harp of tenderness hidden in his chest. Yes, it is Jesus, the faithful friend who has returned. Even if you did not want to, today you would remember your sacred graces. As you recall your mother's songs at your cradle, your father's care when he held you in his compassionate arms, the patience of the teachers who guided you in school, and the pure love of old friendships that appear to you to be far away, you contemplate the street where lights and carols honor his glory. However, you fall over the weight of tears which cleanse your heart. It is so because he speaks to your soul, pleading for forgiveness for those who stumble, help for those who suffer, a coat for those who tremble in the vastness of night, consolation for those who groan discouraged, and light for those who lay in darkness. Do not hesitate. Hear his petition and do something. Smile again at those who have offended you. Bless those who have wounded you. Share your bounty with your brothers in need. Give 1 minute of solace to the sick. Offer a piece of bread to those who pray alone above ruins and abandoned bridges. Extend a soft bed sheet to those who await death without the coziness of a home. Give up a small sum of your wallet towards helping worn-out mothers who suffer seeing their small children squirm with hunger or make happen the happiness of a forgotten child. It does not matter if you say that you cultivate goodwill only today when Christmas shines on you. Let's start to live with Jesus, even if it is for a couple of hours every now and then, and we will learn little by little to be with him always, as much as he is with us, coming daily into our intimacy and sustaining us forever.
We will return to our program after these messages.
Getting to the Light, Spiritist Therapy for Discarnate Spirits is a small book that offers guidance to Spiritist practitioners and Spiritist counselors. Purchase your copy at www.ssbaltimore.org.
Nourish your soul with Kardec Radio.
If you missed out on a previous shows, no worries. We have an on-demand section of all previous shows and interviews. Go to our website at www.kardecradio.com.
Spread the word. Kardec Radio, to learn more about Spiritism.
Help prevent suicide by reading and sharing these books with others. 2 great books are available to help in this Kardec Radio campaign to prevent suicide. Suicide, All You Need to Know, by the international Spiritist speaker Richard Simonetti. You can buy your copy at www.roundtablepublishing-uk.com. Also, Memoirs of a Suicide by the medium Yvonne Pereda. Buy your copy today at www.ediceiofamerica.com.
Kardec Radio, live every Saturday at 11 a.m.
Kardec Radio now offers more programs during the week and weekends. Every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can follow the beautiful program God at Home with Francisca Kranz and the British Spiritist community. They will brighten your days by doing a God at Home meeting wherever you are in the world, while teaching you how to do the same in your own home with your family and friends. Every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will hear incredibly inspirational Spiritist talks directly broadcasted by Spiritist Network. They will be true educational moments to carry out to immortality. Every Saturday, live interviews, Bridging Health and Spiritism with the host Dr. Vanessa Anceloni. You may ask questions to the interviewed guests by calling 858-769-4705. And every Sunday, tune in the Spiritist Awareness at Kardec Radio. You will hear a series of segments on a diversity of Spiritist topics. Kardec will broadcast the Spiritist Moment with Kirsten DeMello, the reading of the Spiritist book by John DeRosa and Steve Shepard, Spiritism in Your Life with Drs. Marco and Joyce Magalhães, Spiritism and the Gospel with Luis Sergio Marotta, Spiritist Education for Youth and Children with Bernadette Leal, Spiritist Music with James Marotta, Neuroscience and Spiritism with Dr. Vanessa Anceloni, and many more segments coming soon. Enjoy it all and nourish your soul with Kardec Radio.
And now we return to our program.
Dear listener, we are happy to be here with you today because we are going to talk about outreaching efforts. Of course, we are always happy to be here with you, but today it's so special because we are already feeling the waves, the breeze of Christmas, not only about gifts per se, but about love. Love for our neighbor, love for those who are suffering. And there are those who are suffering both realms of life because in spite of the body being, recycled by death, in the spiritual realm, there are those who are also in need. So, what can we do? Many people ask. I would like to volunteer at the end of the year, to be useful, to be, conscientious about other people's needs. But where do I go? What do I do? If you don't know any particular organization like a Spiritist Center, we would recommend to you Google it, because anywhere in this world you're going to find organizations through which you can join in and help out. Today we're going to talk with Antonio Leal. He is a Spiritist, member of the Spiritist movement in the United Kingdom, specifically in London, and he has been leading this beautiful effort of the Operation Christmas Child, the Shoebox Challenge. He can tell you much more about this because, probably you can participate on this in some way and form because there is a huge organization behind it. The British Union of Spiritist Societies is also partaking in this beautiful effort, and Antonio Leal is here with us. They are in the very moments of putting these things together, and we have many questions. Antonio is here with us, and we are delighted with his company. Thank you so much, Antonio, for being with us at Kardec Radio.
You are welcome. You're welcome.
Antonio, I know you are Portuguese who has been living in the United Kingdom for a while. How long has it been?
To date, it has been about perhaps 24 years.
Oh my, it's a life.
Yes.
You're almost born there.
Yeah, or reborn, I would say.
Good, you're right.
It's been a long time, yes.
You're right. And I know your adorable wife and your children are there connected to the Spiritist movement. How did you become acquainted with Spiritism?
Well, that dates back in the old days in Portugal, where life itself, in a way, took its natural course, and slowly, as time went on, and I was maybe trying to become a man, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So from youth, progressing to be an adult, not all went as we sometimes desire or plan. So there was, put it this way, complications along the way, which sort of propelled me into, with perhaps the hand or the influence of family members. So being an auntie, they were spiritists. So they sort of considered that there was something that needed to be looked at. Where it all went in a rather different way is that in Portugal, that I know at that time, there was a misconception about what Spiritism really is. And when I thought I was getting myself into Spiritism, it was just simply spiritualism. And of course, when you study, when you grasp into it, you clearly understand that there is quite a difference in between these two, although Spiritists are in nature spiritualists as well. So it was later on then as a resident in the UK that I had the opportunity for people that I met. And for the first time, I was walking to a real Spiritist center, and it was as life itself opened up for me. So it's a complete new dimension and way of thinking and seeing life itself. So that's pretty much how it went. Wow. Of course, there is a lot more about it, but that's in a few paragraphs, yes.
Yeah, and then when you were in the United Kingdom, you joined the Spiritist movement, and you have been working with them for a while, right?
Yes. So since the early days, invitations to work came my way, which was amazing, which was good in a way because it kept me focused, not only with studying, but in a way starting to serve as well, being useful within the Spiritist Center. Yes.
It's amazing. And it's amazing, and I say this because it's not trivial, Antonio, as you know. Many people know about Spiritism, but not necessarily they engage into, working so others can also be, can also receive the message. So what are the main tasks that you fulfill in a Spiritist center?
I have, from the early days, helped with studies, sort of coordinating, so study meetings, normal, I wouldn't say on a higher profile, but just normal studies, especially on an introductory level. So with time, of course, they progress to a more complex level. And I still do that today. Also with spiritual guidance, which is something that we've been making more elaborate so that we can serve better. And of course, there is a big demand on this. And also helping our federation here at in the UK. So I've been a trustee, treasurer. So for a while, I took on the administrative side of Spiritism. And today I still help with the audiovisuals on the bigger, the larger scale type of events that our federation puts together.
I see. That's beautiful. That's very, very interesting. And, this year we're celebrating, Antonio, as you know, 150 years of the Gospel according to Spiritism. And the book is so special. It has really transformed lives. Is there a favorite passage of yours in that regard?
Yes. Yes. But it is also a point of reference for me and for my work with Spiritism because, I took quite a big role with charity and putting together programs, and so in the gospel I take that item called the missing hidden fortunes. You recall where a certain lady is put as an example of almost as a directory on how to do charity, but also do it in a very integrated way, and then how to lead with charity, because she goes around with her daughter, and the daughter is trying also to be sort of take the mother as an example to follow, and she very well sort of points her on how to do it. So it's only a one-page type of text, but in it there is so much guidance on how to serve when you take charity a bit serious. That for me is one of possibly the passages that I've been talking to people the most.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And also because nowadays, for example, when people reach out to others, they feel the need of telling about what they are doing. And, as long as they're doing good things is great, but Spiritism tells us about some specific features to deserve the merit of reaching out to others. So one of the things it says is you don't wait for people to ask for help. The best way to go is to find those who need help, right?
Yes.
And then the second point is you do what you do, but as you said in the very message that you prefer, you are very discreet about that reach out. That doesn't mean that we're not going to share like we're doing today at Kardec Radio, because what we're doing here is sharing an effort that maybe people can partake around the world, but we're talking about bragging about ourselves. What would you say from your experience, Antonio? How would people find the best way to prevent this from happening in their lives, like the bragging about the good they are doing?
To prevent?
Yeah. Because people usually, they do good, but they're like, oh, they they are all about it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like celebrities nowadays, they donate.
Yes.
The difference between Bill Gates, who donates a lot of money and he's not in the news like bragging about it, and others who are like, oh, I donate $1 million, and they are everywhere in the news.
Yes, yes. What is important is to understand that we are dealing with people. People, and we all have feelings, needs, we perceive in different ways, and it's so important that when you try to help someone, you try to look that person in the eye, but also try to touch her heart. And that's, of course, it can be hard because we all wear masks, and sometimes we say, oh, I'm all right. No, I've got everything I need. Then, when sometimes that mask that we all wear for our own sort of defense and integration, when that mask breaks, sometimes there is a lot of hidden pain, and that sometimes needs consoling. Then it's hope. And so if you come geared up enough with compassion, and you're ready sometimes to take a little time to really understand that person, you can actually make a connection. And this is when you can really help people in a leading way. So you're not making the point that you are helping someone, you're simply and naturally doing it. And that can be very inspirational for people.
Exactly. Very inspirational. And before we opened the line to talk with you, we were talking about the fact that many people want to talk, to actually volunteer during the Christmas, holidays, but they are not, aware where and how. Before we go to the first break, how did you get to know about the Operation Christmas Child, and what is it, Antonio?
Okay, so this dates back 10 years. And the first I've heard about it was actually at the Spiritist Center when two friends put some efforts together to try to get us all into the campaign. And yes, people adhered to the campaign, and ever since I sort of became a little interested. Definitely I recorded the name, definitely I made a note about it. My involvement then with the campaign is that the following year I noticed that by the time that the campaign should be on the road, there wasn't anything put together. So I took on the campaign itself and brought it into our Spiritist Center. We've also got another Spiritist Center on board, and altogether it naturally sort of started, and then in the following years we start then to put some planning into it. And ever since it's been always growing every year. It's been a blessing for us, for Spiritists, and ultimately for the children that we can help.
Oh, yeah. Well, we want to know more about it, the details, but we're going to give a short break, Antonio. When we come back, we would like to know more and more about Operation Christmas Child, okay?
Right.
We will return to our program after these messages.
New release, Liberation. In this compelling narrative, Andre Luiz emphasizes the work of high-order spirits in the effort to convert the spirit Gregorio to the good, an effort that culminates with the unforgettable re-encounter with his mother, herself a highly evolved spirit, wherein he surrenders to the irresistible call of love. The book also contains information on how unhappy spirits act as they try to involve incarnates in their wiles. The spirit author tells of the intercession of high-order spirits on behalf of human beings, demonstrating the divine compassion that grants to all the blessed opportunity to free themselves by means of study, labor, and persevering service in the practice of the good. Buy your copy today at www.ediceiofamerica.com.
Spread the word. Kardec Radio, to learn more about Spiritism.
Want spirituous books for your children? At Eddie Save America, you will find a collection of them. From the best-selling book, Our Father, in which the Spirit May through Chico Xavier brought countless poems, stories, and folk tales based on the Lord's Prayer, to the beautiful and educational collection by the author Adelson Sales on Back to School and many others. Buy your copy today at www.eddiesaveamerica.com.
Nourish Your Soul with Kardec Radio.
If you missed out on previous shows, no worries. We have an on-demand sections of all previous shows and interviews. Go to our website, www.kardecradio.com.
Nourish Your Soul with Kardec Radio.
Spiritism for Everyone is the live web study meeting and educational program of the United States Spiritist Council. This year, in commemoration of the 150th anniversary of the Gospel according to Spiritism, the Spiritism for Everyone program will present an in-depth study of this remarkable book. Join us every Wednesday evening through the web from any computer or mobile device, no matter where you are in the U.S. Spiritism for Everyone is free, open to all, and requires no registration. For more information, go to www.spiritist.us.
And now we return to our program.
Dear listener, we are here discussing about outreach efforts. And we are talking about the fact that in Spiritism we learn that the gospel message, the good news, as Emmanuel says in a book named Roteiro, which is not in English yet, through Chico Xavier, the experimenter of his, wrote in chapter 20, the gospel and its dynamism. And it says, the good news in your heart, in your words, and in your arms is essentially dynamic. And it says, with a free translation, of course, it says quite clearly, the divine power is not encapsulated in the symbolism in the temples of stones. Free yourself. Go to the public, to the streets. March towards those who are in need, who are ignorant, who suffer, who are in misery. Hug the ones who are unfortunate and raise those who are fallen. Basically, Emmanuel is telling us, go and help those who are in need. Because praying to God is not enough. Studying about the laws of life is not enough if we don't comply, if we don't apply them in our lives. And one of the laws we know is the law of love, justice, and charity. And we are here with Antonio Leal, who is a dear friend and a spiritist in the United Kingdom, leading efforts in a beautiful campaign with Operation Christmas Child. It's the Shoebox Challenge. Antonio, can you tell us what it is to put together this effort? What does it take? What do people need to do to help out?
We have behind a very comprehensive and big organization, which is Samaritan Stars International Relief, with a very big work globally. So there are resources that they make available to us. So by trying to get all these resources in, such as print, posters, and so many other forms to raise awareness of the campaign, and it's really all about planning and making it happening. So it's about talking to people first that the campaign exists, giving them a bit of the background, how it has been, of course, the credibility of the campaign, because people do like to know where they are putting their time, their efforts, their money as well. And then it's all about planning. So put together sessions of raising awareness, fundraising, workshops to make the shoe boxes. Like right now in the other room where I am, there's more than 20 people working. And also making it in a way something enjoyable, something that people then go away and keep something inside them. You know, the good feeling, the good vibration, that inner happiness of outreaching, of being useful to the community. And it's been a blessing because in all these years we've been lucky enough, or maybe blessed enough, always to have people behind us that help to make things happen. So altogether, it's been, in a way, and I shouldn't say this, but it's been easier every year to make more. If that makes sense. It's harder in a way, of course, but then because we sort of tried always to grow this campaign sustainably, people come in with more and more and ready to serve even more and more, which is great.
Yeah. So in this case, the British Union of Spiritist Society became a processing center. Is that what it is?
Now, in a way, yes. And so our work is mainly centered in, I wouldn't say processing, but as a facilitator. So we liaise with Samaritan Spurs here in the UK. We take more the role of facilitating, really. So we help the places that are starting to adhere to the campaign. We help them. We talk to them. We publish every year a short video on our channel on YouTube at Bus Audio Visuals. So we put on a video the background of the previous year so that people can go and see what it was like. And in a way, it's like getting them all in the mood. Because there is an element of this. There's a lot of young people with energy, and like you know, and Positive USA is the same. There is a large number of charities. So when people choose where they're going to spend time, they want to make sure that they are doing it for an organization that is trustworthy, for that is worthwhile. So us, our federation, sort of took it seriously in a way that also gives the movement the opportunity of doing charity.
Oh, I see. So what do people need to bring if they want to help you?
Yes. So the gold dust, call it, it's shoe boxes, empty shoe boxes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because that's what we do is we turn a shoe box into a present. So presents range from school materials to teddy bears. For boys, maybe a car, and various sort of types of toys. Which we group in different age groups. For girls, could be again a teddy bear, could be a doll, could be sets for say hair clips and so on. But we make sure that there's basic stuff is always in a shoebox, which is, for example, a toothbrush, soap, school materials, so from notepads to coloring books and crayons and felt pens. So we make sure that each box has these, and then we add so according to the gender and age group, then we add the rest of the stuff. So,
wow.
Yes. And of course there is a cost to all this, so we need, all of us in what we can, we need to fundraise actively. We make this a 2-month campaign. So we don't saturate the idea, because there is a quite big element of people sort of listening about something all year round and losing interest. So when the campaign comes live in September, we try to gain momentum, get people on board, and throughout the year, and we learned on how to make the most of every pound that we raise, so that we can then make more and more and help more and more children.
Yes, wow, and many people may ask, and again and again, like, how can you track where it goes?
This information, then we can, and we heard, for example, that 2 years ago, quite a lot of the boxes that we sent to a depot, a Samaritan's Purse depot in South London, went to Swaziland, for example. This is quite complex because the UK contributes for a number of years with more than 1 million shoeboxes. Then in Europe, the countries that adhere to this campaign, so in Western Europe, from, say, practicality point of view, most of all these boxes go to Eastern Europe, some countries in Africa and Central Asia. And these are the routes that normally from West Europe all this help goes. To actually track where a box goes and ends up going can be in a way hard. It isn't that the campaign and each box goes geared up with a tracking system. Maybe in the future this would be available, but it would be terribly expensive. But we can, say, in January and February, by liaising again with Samaritans, we can know which country the boxes that were taken to a certain depot went to which country. So that's as far as tracking we can at the present.
Oh, wow. That's very, very interesting. And as you said, I remember studies, Antonio, by Dr. Stephen Post, who actually, he's a scientist, but he is a good collaborator of the Spiritist movement in the U.S., and he was awarded this year the Peace and You Award by Divaldo Franco in Washington, D.C. I remember him presenting statistics on how important it is for volunteers also to have some form of feedback so they feel the joy of giving. And though we are not supposed to expect anything in return, but the exchange, and you mentioned some elements in this campaign that are very interesting, that when people are helping put the shoe boxes together, they feel joyful. Can you describe a little more about the feeling of the volunteer of the Operation Christmas Child there?
Yes, that is quite some, I must say. And I will just mention something. It's that for 8 years, the larger workshops were done at my home. So in an effort to make, because so we have the space. So we used to, our home has been, for these 8 years, the hub of the campaign. And in a way, we always been very focused in putting everyone at ease once they get involved, because we were very conscientious that people weren't in a public space, they were in our home. Mm-hmm. But during all these workshops, we always made the point that it was everyone's home. That we, of course, we were then sharing a responsibility in making sure that everything will go as minimally expected. And by doing so, I believe, and also creating this atmosphere where everyone is welcome, everyone is part of just one big task, would make everybody then feel like a team. So the team spirit, I believe, was a key element in the growth of this campaign, is in helping everyone feeling that we are all part of this project, showing showing them video footage of how the campaign has been the previous years, but also video footage published by Samaritan Spurs, where we can see how hard life can be for so many children around the planet, and helping them understand that although we're just putting together a present, that present can be the breaking point in someone's life. Receiving a little love, a little hope, feeling that someone somewhere values our existence. And in a way, there is, of course, as we try to gain momentum with the campaign, of course, we talk to people a lot about charity. So when people then come to the workshops, they already come with, I believe, a sense of doing good, with a little compassion in their hearts, and then I believe work becomes more joyful. So it's been amazing to get the feedback from volunteers saying, "Oh, we had a great time. The energy was great. It is as the time we stayed all day, but then it felt that the time could have stopped. It was very good. We don't feel tired in the end." So this sort of feedback has been very inspirational for us. It's been very good.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And we're going to give one last break, Antonio. When we come back, we have some other questions we'd like to ask you about these efforts, okay?
Yes. See you shortly.
We will return to our program after these messages.
Books of Andre Luis. Through the hands of the most prolific medium of all times, Chico Javier, the spirit doctor Andre Luis wrote a series of books that unveil the mechanisms of life and life after life. From the best-selling novel No Solar, Our Home, to And Life Goes On, the reader will find illumination for a fulfilled life on Earth as well as immortal happiness. Check the many titles available at the international distributor, EDI-CEI of America. Their website is www.ediceiofamerica.com.
Spread the word. Kardec Radio, to learn more about Spiritism.
Spiritist Network, your gateway to on-demand Spiritist videos. www.spiritistnetwork.com.
Nourish your soul with Kardec Radio. Traveling to another country? Immigrating elsewhere? Prepare yourself by reading the book Among Brothers of Other Lands, in which several loving and wise spirits wrote through the hands of Chico Xavier and Waldo Vieira, telling all of us the tips and hints of a successful transition to a new land. Buy your copy today at www.ediceiofamerica.com.
Do you want Spiritist books for your children? At Odyssey of America, you'll find a collection of them, from the best-selling book Our Father, in which the Spirit Mei Mei, through Chico Xavier, brought countless poems, stories, and folk tales based on the Lord's Prayer, to the beautiful and educational collection by the author Adailson Salles on Back to School and many others. Buy your copy today at www.odysseyofamerica.com.
And now we return to our program.
Dear listener, we are here in our final moments of the program today, and we are talking to Antonio Leal, who is the leading effort of the campaign, the Shoebox Challenge, with the British Union of Spiritist Societies. Our dear friend Elsa Rossi, who is the chairperson of the British Union of Spiritist Societies, was sharing this very news about the efforts on the campaign, and we were delighted to hear about it. And then we called Antonio Leal so we could get to know more about it. It's also an idea for those who are around the world. As Antonio Leal said, the Samaritan's Purse organization has such efforts around the world, and you can, open your very workshop there to help with your organization. Why not? You may well be inspired about Antonio's story and the efforts, and of course, the behind, the foundation of it all is Spiritism, in the sense of we know it's important to reach out to those who are in greater need than ourselves. So, Antonio, you were mentioning before the break how the children who receive the shoeboxes filled with presents feel happy, but I bet also their parents may also feel relieved about the fact that they are getting a gift, because often parents, they are heartbroken when they cannot give, at least a gift to their children in a season like Christmas. Have you heard stories in that regard about parents who were also very grateful about this effort?
Yes. In Ukraine, for example, where the winter is possibly around -30, and yes, I've heard of a child who was so sick, and so the parents, with the economic climate that we've been going through for the last 10 years, they weren't just able anymore to cope and to give their son the basics to keep that child alive. So the child was in a way so sick that had to be taken into a hospital for, of course, their own well-being. So this in itself is devastating for the parents. And there was this story where, the campaign was coming to this hospital to give, of course, the presents, but Samaritan Purse can bring more. There are different programs that can help families. And with this child, it was so uplifting to receive a present, because it was of course a saddened, the family was saddened by the fact that although they do celebrate Christmas and so on, but without the youngest being with the family, and they were experiencing hardship, and we probably wouldn't know to what extent. And this child was the health improved and so on, simply a present, simply to receive something that brings us a smile. And the parents were, of course, in tears of joy, because, like you said, it's heartbreaking for parents. And of course, we don't stimulate Christmas associated with receiving presents, but for a child, some of these presents could be the first time they ever receive something. And we possibly, especially in the Western societies, don't know what this means. So it's very uplifting, very uplifting. In Liberia, there has been a case where Samaritans went to help a community, and not only the Operation Christmas Child opened the way, which means it is a campaign that it's easier, happens once a year. So in a way, it's been an opening door for communities to receive help.
Yes.
And we must understand that in some of these communities, people don't know what's like receiving something for free. They are actually suspicious about it. They feel that there must be a catch of some sort behind. So it is something that we didn't know existed. But community leaders are very precautious sometimes of who they open their doors to. So with the Operation Christmas Child opening the way, other programs like Water Aid, HIV, support and so on, and with this family, there was, they had a baby. And this baby didn't have a name at that time, and the reverend of a church they called him Hope to the child. So it was because of the Operation Christmas Child that somehow they found the name of the child. And this child now it's a bit of a centerpiece, still a centerpiece of the campaign, because it was, the child would be named, of course. It would be named somehow, but they took the inspiration of the campaign to give the child a campaign based on what was happening at that time to them. So I'm sure there is a million stories.
But these,
I'm sure that the campaign has brought around.
It's amazing because the story you're mentioning is already very, very inspirational. So, Antonio, for those who are listening to us around the world, or specifically in your area, what would you like to share as your final comments for today?
Yes, I wanted to say that it is worth it. If it's not the Operation Christmas Child, whatever it is, when we take on charity in an integrated way where we're really helping, it is as if we are putting charity in someone's hearts. The receiver today could be the donor of the future. When we help and look at when we meet real needs, we are improving lives. We're making this planet better. So it could be through the Operation Christmas Child. Like we know, there is thousands of projects on Earth.
Yes.
In a way, Operation Christmas Child is quite unique and is the largest globally. So in a way, it can be very easy. And for those who possibly are now thinking, this could be something interesting, you are still in time because the operation globally is still running. We still have got another 10 days of campaign, so you could get involved. You could make your mark. You could change someone's lives this year, this Christmas. So it is an invitation. Learn more about it. Get involved. And if I can encourage anyone or someone that is already helping, maybe just do a little more. Do a little better. It's worth it.
Okay, wow. That's amazing. We cannot thank you enough, Antonio, for your time, because this is a precious time for you since you are in the very, very workshop for the Shoebox efforts. So we wish the very best to the whole team, and we commend the efforts of the British Union of Spiritist Societies and your leading effort too. Thank you so much for being with us at Kardec Radio and sharing these wonderful ways of being helpful. Actually, before we go, I think we have somebody here who would like to ask a question. So let us open the line. Hello, welcome to Kardec Radio. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Crystal.
Hi, Crystal. You're listening to us today. Would you like to ask a question?
Yes, I would like to ask a question.
Please do so.
Are you doing readings?
I'm sorry, we don't do readings.
Oh, okay. Maybe another time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Antonio. I guess people also need our prayers. So we are going to wrap up the program, Antonio, with a final prayer. Usually we do a final prayer ourselves, but we would like to ask you if you could kindly lead the prayer for us.
Yes, certainly. And just before the prayer, just to thank Kardec Radio and thank the listeners for listening, for being with us, and by all means, do share this campaign, make it bigger.
All right. Thank you, Antonio.
So, as a prayer for today, and that we've been talking about charity and how it can save and change lives on earth, let us all understand that above us there is a very large charity a charity that embraces planet Earth itself, a charity, a loving force, which is our God, that embraces all of us, knowing us all in our most intimate or inner deformities, anxieties, knows about what we wish for, what we celebrate, and what sometimes can make us a bit saddened. So with this in mind, and knowing that is our Creator, that sustains life itself, that source of love that, as we know, is endless, let us all try mentally to join our hands together as if we were embracing our planet. And from our hearts, let us all wish that we can have better days on Earth, that we can all be happier, that this planet can be a place where we can all live in greater peace, where we join our hands every day, where the boss and the employees join their efforts together just for one goal, where the families have a bit more respect between themselves, where everyone feels closer to each other. And as we do so, we are involving our planet with light, with love, with all the good energies that we need to improve life on planet Earth. We are not a drop in the ocean. We are a spirit that lives now in this planet. And we're here to grow and also to make a difference, because we are co-creators of the universe. So let us all take this with us. Let us all take this energy, these blessings, and not only have a good day, but have a good week. Try also to make this Christmas a season of joy for everyone, a season where we can all come a little more together and help improving lives in the same way that we improve our lives. And of course, may Jesus bless us, inspire us, and be with us every step of the way. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Antonio. We have tears in our eyes and joy in our hearts. Thank you, and many blessings to you and the team at BUS. We hope to have you more often here too, Antonio. Thanks.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
So, dear listener, we hope you have enjoyed and you're inspired. And you, as Antonio said, you can do the same. Just go to the Operation Christmas Child website as Samaritan's Purse and get to know more how you can get involved. There are days ahead, 10 days, for the collection of the shoe boxes. And there are many other ways of helping too. Well, here at Kardec Radio, we always have moments of inspiration for you. It's a way to also reach out to your heart. And if you have any question or suggestion, please write to us at kardecradio.com. We have a contact form. We'll be super happy from hearing from you. And next week we have a very interesting program. It's about reincarnation and sex. Topics that Spiritism can address with great wisdom. And we'll be here for you. Dear listener, we wish you lots of blessings, and we hope you follow our programs tomorrow at 8 p.m., this Wednesday and Thursday as well. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Kardec Radio, broadcasting live every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Email us and share your comments at www.kardecradio.com. Until next time, we wish you many blessings.